Emmanuel Annan has a question. You can ask the question, Emmanuel Annan.
Yeah, hello. I am Emmanuel Annan from Ghana,
Okay.
past student of ATU, and then as a project manager to Kataros Engineering.
Okay.
I want to ask, let's say when it comes to renewable energy, like solar, when we go to our rural areas, they are using rooftop, and as well as drinking the fallen water, the rain. So my question is, as far as we want to eradicate the fossil fuel, won't it have any impact on, let's say, rural areas drinking the falling water or the rain whilst they have installed the solar panel on the rooftop? That's my first question.
Okay. Yeah, do you have another question again?
Yeah, but let us tackle with this one and then I'll add another one to it.
Okay, maybe other people. Okay, so this is a very, very important question and very good observation. Very technical question indeed. And I think the solar panels, rain falling on it and dropping to the ground. Rainfall itself, when the rain is coming, itself is clean. But depending on the environment, when it falls on the ground or when it's closer, it can be polluted by dust or particulate matter in the atmosphere. So yeah, the solar panel can be very dusty, just like the roofing. The roof. If you have aluminum roof, rainwater falls on it and people still drink it. And the same way, this can be polluted with dust. But in terms of it being contaminated with electrical charges or electricity, I don't think that will be the case. But the side I see will be the pollution with dust, right? But I have not read anywhere about the roofing using rooftop solar having impact on people drinking water from the building, right? But it also depends on how contaminated it is, right? I think that would be my answer to that. But I would also try to find out about this if this is possible. So I made a note about this. Does that answer you? Maybe you can ask your second question too.
Okay, well answered. And then my second question is, when it comes to solar sizing, and let's say sizing of batteries, sizing of solar panels, and can you at least emphasize that portion for us to at least get a more idea about that side?
Yeah, this a very big this very big and cannot all be answered in this presentation, but I would give like an idea of how to size, like if you are sizing, let's say, a solar plant and the rest. It will not just be a simple calculation where, let's say, you want to build, for instance, you want to build a 50 kilowatt solar PV for your domestic use. And I'll explain like this. It depends on the size of the project, if it's big or if it is small. For instance, in the US here, we have like a lot of types of solar. We have residential solar, commercial solar, and then even community solar, right? And each of these is designed differently based on the standard in the National Electrical Code. So you see that the amount of details or attention you pay to a rooftop solar will not be the same as how you do for a bigger solar project. Because the impact, think about it, like the impact of a rooftop solar is only to your house. But if you are building a community solar where you will have like maybe 100 houses connecting to a particular community solar, it's called community solar because it's usually built on a particular land that belongs to the community. And then instead of building small solar plants or solar plants on people's rooftop, we actually will build it on a particular land, let's say a wasteland, wasteland or maybe a brown land, and then use the energy there to supply to the homes. The design of each of these, there are similarities, but it depends on the size. So it will not just be like, okay, the size is 50 kilowatts, and then I'm buying a 500 watt module, and so you do the division and then know the number of modules you want and the rest. Most of the design, you need to account for the conditions of the site. So conditions of the site, the most prevalent ones are the temperature of the site. If you remember, Ahmed asked a question about the efficiency of their PV plant dropping is because of the temperature. So you need to know the temperature of the site. Based on the temperature, you'll be able to size your cables. So the cable size that you pick will have a particular drop. So if you want to reduce a lot of drop, you will need to select a particular cable. And so this has to be a detailed designing. I would advise the best way is to look at all the site conditions, temperature of the site, the humidity of the site, even the height, the altitude of the site. Altitude also have impact on how plants works, right? So you need to know all of this, but also the simple answer will be depends on the size. Large scale solar, which I am more involved in large scale building, 100 megawatts up to 500 megawatt solar plant, is more detailed engineering, and it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. So that's the simple answer I think I can give all this. Okay, John, you can ask a question, John. John,
okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Engineer Shaibu. So I saw this tweet on Twitter the last time. It was talking about building solar plants on car parks instead of fields and the rest. So I wanted to know if building a solar plant using a company's car park is feasible.
Yeah, those ones are called carports. So it's the same thing. We have several types of solar. People build solar on car parks. The reason is that the car park is just a piece of land, and so you want to build a carport, and then the carport will serve two fundamental purposes. Number one is to provide, the primary goal is to provide electricity to offset, maybe the company uses a lot of electricity and they want to offset some of their bills. So they can decide to build like a carport solar, and that will offset some of their bills. At the same time, they would also be able to provide a roofing for the car. So if you are in a particular location where the temperature of the place is very high, you want to provide shade for the vehicles. So this will serve two purposes: electricity and then shade. It's not a bad thing. It's very good. If you work in a company, you can recommend them to think about that idea. Okay, the next, are you okay with that? I think Isaku can ask the next question. Isaku, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, let me give an introduction to myself before.
Okay.
I'm Isaku Abdulhak, a student of UNE and the head of the events and outreach team, Student Energy. So my question is, here in Ghana, we do not actually practice what we teach. What is being taught, what is always being taught in class, we actually do not relate that. And then as a fresh graduate with no connection to industries, after completion, where should I start from?
Okay, yeah, that's very. This question is a very important one, and I think a lot of us, especially most people from Ghana, can relate to this. And it's the same thing that, but it depends on the country you are in. So, industry and education. So you are in the school, you'll be graduating, and then you are thinking about going to industry. And the situation in Ghana is that most of the things we learn in school, even as I mentioned earlier on, the things you usually learn in school is a bit different in how you actually implement it on the site. So if you are working, you're actually going to apply what you learn in school. It's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be how you apply your knowledge. So you will learn power system analysis, but when you get on site, that's where you demonstrate. You will learn, let's say, protection. But when you get on site, you see a particular fault. Based on the knowledge you have, then you can now apply how to analyze the fault and then how to troubleshoot and then resolve it. But all of this, we